Let's get right to it. Prediction markets, where people bet real money on the future, are signaling one particular outcome with almost complete certainty. 97%. That's the probability the market is giving a single player to win the entire AI arms race. It's an outcome they see as basically inevitable. And that player is Google's Gemini. The conviction here is just overwhelming. This isn't a guess. It's a massive bet that Gemini will be the undisputed king of AI by the end of next year. Now, we're not talking about pocket change. We're talking about over $17 million in notional volume at risk, all backing this one very lopsided trade. The stakes are, well, they're incredibly high. But here's where it gets interesting. While all this capital is piling into AI with near total certainty, another high-risk market is in an absolute state of panic. Confidence in a key Bitcoin narrative has just completely evaporated. We're going to connect those dots at the end. By the way, if you're finding this valuable, do me a favor and drop a like and share. It really helps. Okay, first up, let's break down that unshakable bet on AI. So the takeaway here is just how ridiculously one-sided this is. Look at this. The market is giving Google's Gemini a 97% chance of being the best AI, leaving Elon Musk's Grok with, what? A tiny 3% sliver. That's about as close to a total consensus as you can get. And check this out. This conviction has been building. This wasn't some random one-day spike. The probability held rock steady at 94% for most of the last week before actually jumping up to 97%. That shows you a sustained, strengthening belief from traders. You know, for more of these data-driven insights, make sure you hit that subscribe button. All right, now let's pivot to that counter-narrative. Because while tech is seeing certainty, the crypto markets, they're signaling a total collapse of a huge bullish story. Just look at this decay. A little over a week ago, the market gave a 14% chance for Bitcoin to hit $100,000 this year. Reasonable, right? Well, then it dropped to 12%, then it cratered to 5%, and now it's basically priced for failure. And here it is, the final nail in the coffin, a 1% chance. The entire narrative of a massive end-of-year rally has been priced completely out of existence. Any hope for that has totally evaporated. To put it simply, what the data is showing us is a complete reversal of sentiment. Traders aren't just being cautious anymore, they are actively, aggressively betting against that once popular idea of a major crypto bull run. For more of this real-time data, you should definitely be following us on Twitter. But, you know, it's not just crypto. We're seeing a really similar dramatic reversal in a key political market, the odds of marijuana rescheduling here in the US. This is an outlier signal you really need to see. I mean, this is a stunning shift. The probability of marijuana getting rescheduled before July 2027 was sitting at a pretty confident 76%. In just over a week, that has completely collapsed to basically a coin flip. This chart really shows you just how severe that drop was. We're looking at confidence in rescheduling falling all the way from 76% down to 49%. That's not some minor adjustment, folks. That's a fundamental repricing of a major political event. Again, if you're finding this analysis useful, go ahead and drop a like. Okay, so what in the world does this all mean? We've got this insane conviction in tech right next to collapsing sentiment in crypto and politics. Let's pull it all together and synthesize this into one cohesive macro view. Here it all is, laid out on one slide. You see a strong bull trend in tech AI, and that conviction is actually getting stronger. At the same time, a strong bear trend in crypto, with confidence hitting basically zero, and a collapsing narrative in the politics of marijuana rescheduling. But notice the one area of stability? Economics. The market is still 99% certain of 3 Fed rate cuts. What does this tell us? It says capital is fleeing these speculative narratives and rotating into what it sees as high certainty outcome. We put out this kind of synthesis every single week, so subscribe so you don't miss our next briefing. What you've just seen is a textbook example of something called sentiment rotation. The money and the belief, they're not just disappearing, they're moving. They're flowing away from speculative stories like the Bitcoin rally and political bets and into high-conviction tech plays like the AI race. So with 2 major narratives completely breaking in just 1 week, the data is forcing us to ask a really important forward-looking question. What's going to be the next high-conviction story to face a similar collapse? And that is your briefing. Make sure you're subscribed and drop a like below to support what we're doing here. Follow us on X for more updates, and we'll see you in the next one.